Luigi Bechi, born in Florence in 1830, was an Italian painter whose life and work were deeply intertwined with the political and cultural changes sweeping through 19th century Italy. He emerged not only as a gifted artist, but also as a patriot who actively participated in the military campaigns of the Italian unification. His paintings, largely focused on genre scenes, historical subjects, and rural life, reflect both a deep humanism and a commitment to capturing the essence of Italian culture during a transformative period. Early life and education. Bechi grew up in Florence, a city already steeped in Renaissance heritage and one of the epicenters of the Italian artistic tradition. As a child, he demonstrated strong artistic inclinations. His family, recognizing his potential, supported his education at the Accademia di Belle Arti di Firenze, one of the leading art institutions in Italy. There, he studied under prominent instructors, including Giuseppe Bezzuoli, a historical painter known for his dramatic compositions and classical training. At the Academy, Bechi was immersed in a rigorous academic curriculum, emphasizing drawing, anatomy, and historical painting. His early works reveal a mastery of academic techniques and a clear influence from both Renaissance and Baroque masters, particularly in his use of dramatic lighting and expressive figures. Military service and the Risorgimento. Becci's life took a significant turn in the 1850s, when Italy was in the midst of the Risorgimento, the movement to unify the various states and territories into a single Italian nation. Like many young intellectuals and artists of the time, Bechi felt a strong patriotic pull and enlisted in the army. He fought in several important battles, including the campaigns in Lombardy and the Battle of Palestro in 1859. This experience on the battlefield profoundly impacted Bechi. Not only did it shape his worldview, but it also influenced the emotional depth and realism in his later artworks. The hardships of war and the camaraderie of soldiers would later be reflected in many of his military-themed paintings, which portrayed the human cost of war with compassion and nuance. Artistic career and themes. After the Wars of Independence, Bechi returned to Florence and resumed his painting career with renewed focus and maturity. His post-military period marked the most productive phase of his career. He began to specialize in genre scenes, capturing the everyday life of peasants, children, and common folk with sensitivity and charm. These works were neither overly sentimental nor idealized. Rather, they portrayed rural Italian life with authenticity and dignity. Bechi also painted historical and literary subjects, often drawn from Italian literature, folklore, and national history. His historical paintings combined his academic training with a strong narrative element. One of his strengths was the ability to infuse scenes from the past with contemporary emotion and relevance. His color palette was warm and earthy, often dominated by browns, ochres, and greens, colors that helped evoke the rustic environments of his subjects. His brushwork was refined yet lively, striking a balance between detail and spontaneity. Becci's style aligned loosely with the Macchiaioli, a group of Tuscan painters who predated the Impressionists and sought to break away from rigid academic traditions. Though Bechi was never officially a member of this group, his approach to light, naturalism, and plein air painting showed some affinity with their ideals. Teaching and legacy. Luigi Becci's reputation grew steadily, and by the 1870s, he was recognized as one of Florence's respected painters. He became a professor at the Florentine Academy of Fine Arts, the very institution where he had trained. In this role, he influenced a new generation of artists, sharing not only his technical expertise, but also his passion for narrative and national identity in art. His teaching style emphasized both discipline and creative freedom. He encouraged his students to observe life directly and to find inspiration in their surroundings. Several of his pupils went on to have successful careers, extending his influence well beyond his own lifetime. In his later years, Bechi continued to paint, although the pace of his work slowed. He remained deeply connected to Florence, witnessing the city's transformation as it briefly became the capital of a newly unified Italy. He was a quiet but respected figure in the art community, more devoted to his work and students than to public acclaim. He passed away in 1919, at the age of 89, having lived through one of the most transformative centuries in Italian history. His life had spanned the birth of modern Italy, and his work captured the soul of a nation rediscovering its identity. Artistic contribution. Luigi Bechi's contribution to Italian art lies not in radical innovation, but in the sincerity and humanity of his vision. His works are a bridge between academic tradition and modern